Paul George. Therefore, taking on an all-star in LaMarcus Aldridge would probably be something that I'd be willing to do, and it'd be a risk worth them taking because of the fact that he could play well alongside Paul George and Russell Westbrook and really see how they develop. Now, him and Steven Adams together might clog the lane because both of them don't really stretch the floor too well. I think LaMarcus Aldridge stretches the floor a little better than Steven Adams. Hopefully, they'd be able to find a way to make it work. And really, this is their only option at this point to get better and to try to get over that hump over Houston and Golden State.
Yeah, for Oklahoma City, it's pretty similar to the Houston deal where you don't have many other ways of getting better. So if you can entice the Spurs, like you can get them to really give up a few first-round picks in this deal, then you do this trade. You're not gonna, your contract situation are so bad. You're not gonna be signing anyone good in the next few years. So you do this deal. You see if you can win with the Russell Westbrook, a healthy George, a healthy Robertson, Aldridge, and Adams, and see if you can, make it difficult on Houston and the Golden State in the West. If you're the Spurs, you're not getting much back, so they would have to be really all in on a rebuild here. Right? Last year, they were trying to find a value for LaMarcus Aldridge. They said they couldn't find anything what they wanted back in return, so they do value LaMarcus Aldridge a lot. But if they're in rebuild mode, there's obviously sacrifices that have to be made. Now, I'm not sure if the Spurs are going to be in rebuild mode. Like I said, I don't know what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, I actually don't think they will be, but I think they should be. If they trade Kawhi Leonard, they should be because of the fact.
I think the Spurs, once they get away Kawhi Leonard, they're going to get some assets. They have a couple of young guys that they can start working with. And yeah, if you can get something for LaMarcus Aldridge, you should do it.
Same thing with Danny Green. I think he might be worth a second rounder to some team, or maybe a couple second rounders to some team. If you could take on a bad contract from a team worth about $10 million over an extended period of time, you might be able to extract the first rounder from the team.
Philly can, add a Bayless or somebody for a Danny Green. Yeah. I think Danny Green would work well in Philly, right? It's a 3-and-D guy who played with Brett Brown.
The question is, do they need another one now that they have Chandler and Covington?
Well, I think what we've learned in the past is now in the NBA, 3-and-D guys are always going to be worth it. Maybe especially if you do trade, if you do get rid of Covington for Kawhi at the middle of the season, you can be like, oh, maybe we should also add a Danny Green here, kind of come off the bench, play some defense, shoot some threes.
Yeah, and they do have a ton of second rounders and a ton of players at the end of their bench that they do need to get rid of just because of the fact.
Or a few European players, they have some draft and stash guys.
I think at this point, because of the fact that they have 18 guys on their roster, they need to cut at least 3 of those guys. But the problem is those guys are like former first-round picks on second- or third-year deals who should be able to get back at least a second-rounder for those players. So maybe adding them to a deal like this where you are getting another solid veteran in return would be worth it for Philly to do.
Yeah.
Another team might be Toronto, who has Norman Powell's contract that they are trying to get rid of. It's a little extended over 4 years, about the same as Danny Green's. Maybe that could be a player that they trade for and give up an extra asset to San Antonio for that extra first round, not an extra first round pick, but a first round pick. Because I think at this point, Daniel Green's worth about a second round pick. But if you add in a long contract that you're trying to get rid of, you might be able to extract a first round pick.
He has 4 years for $10 million?
A little under $10 million, yeah, $9 million a year, let's say.
4 years?
For 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be hard to entice the Spurs to do that if they're rebuilding to really take on.
But if you're rebuilding, you can take on that additional salary.
That's a lot of years.
That is a lot of years, yes. But Norman Powell is young. See if he develops and develops back to what he was and see if his value goes up.
All right, so to recap, we discussed LaMarcus Aldridge trades. We proposed possibilities to the Timberwolves, back to Portland, and then to OKC. And then we discussed Danny Green and some options he could have maybe being sent to Toronto or Philly.
Real quick, I want to add in. So let's review the 3 teams we suggested with rebuilds were the San Antonio Spurs, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Memphis Grizzlies. Right now, out of those 3 teams, Memphis and San Antonio definitely do not look like they're heading towards rebuilds. These are teams we feel should rebuild, not that will rebuild. Cleveland, I think, is headed towards a rebuild. Now, it might be a little later during the trade deadline, not exactly this offseason, but toward the trade deadline. but I do feel that they will try to get rid of those assets that they have on their team.
All right. So as always, thanks for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at NBA Trade Zone. We have a Facebook page, NBA Trade Zone. We also have an Instagram, which is also at NBA Trade Zone. Please make sure to email us if you have any questions at nbatradezone@gmail.com. We are always looking forward to some criticisms, some questions, maybe some trade ideas you want to send to us. If you email us, we promise you we will respond to them in our podcast. Give us some iTunes ratings if you're on iTunes. Those are always very helpful.
Yeah, they always work well. Any comments you may have for us, anything you guys want to tell us, please do that through any form you can or through any form you'd like. Whatever is easier on you.
Thank you for listening and have a great day.
Thank you.